this week's best MMA bets. We're talking UFC Nashville. I'm going to give you guys my lock of the week, which is an underdog. We'll talk about some of my most confident picks on the card. We'll also talk about some of my other favorite dogs on the card. We'll look at the props/value bets and then finish it out with the parlays. So make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn the post notifications on, and make sure to share the video as well. I want to kick it off right away with the lock of the week.
O'Day, the Jamaican sensation, Osborne.
O'Day Osborne, underdog, first fight of the night, flyweight division matchup versus Asu Almabayev, who's a pretty dangerous prospect on the come up, but I think Osborne is being completely overlooked in this spot. Now, he's a pretty fair size underdog right now at plus 165. And I know some people might be like, oh, O'Day Osborne, he's never that impressive. He just beat Charles Johnson by a split decision. At the end of the day, for Almabayev, this is an experienced UFC veteran in your debut who does have a natural physicality advantage, being taller and longer. Also is a pretty talented and quick striker with a competent ground game and very scrambly. If you're looking to wrestle him, which Almabayev is definitely going to do, is not going to be easy to control O'Day Osborne. Another big reason I like him as an underdog, who is he currently working with to more well-round his game? Aljamain Sterling, Merab Dvalishvili, the Sarah Weidman Longo crew. You got to love it for him, especially in a matchup versus Almabayev, who I feel like does control his opponents fairly well, isn't great at offensive ground and pound and beating the hell out of his opponents, will pass with time, but I feel like he is extraordinarily patient with his passes, enough so where it's not going to be easy to just hold O'Day Osborne in position. Notoriously, O'Day Osborne has pretty good takedown defense and isn't a bad offensive wrestler with himself. Put that together with him being just a good athlete with a good amount now of UFC experience, I got to go Osborne all day. I think he's a great underdog. Underdog lock this week. I'm going ballsy. I'm on a 2-fight lock streak. We hit with Nathaniel Wood, and then last week we hit with Alex Pereira. I'm going for the trifecta, and I'm going big or I'm going home. Plus 165. Give me the big dog, O'Day Osborne. I like the money line. It's definitely a wide enough tag where you just attack that money line side. I feel like Osborne has the punching power for a KO at plus 325. Would I say it's necessarily worth it when I think he also has the skill set that could end up winning a decision? Plus 500 for the decision. So the props are not really what I'm looking at with this lock of the week here. My official call was decision, but Osborne definitely has the stopping power in his hands to get Almabayev out of there. I like the money line. The money line is the A side, plus 165. Incredible tag. Underdog lock this week, going for the trifecta, and I'm riding with confidence here on O'Day Osborne. And now I'm going to jump into my most confident picks on this card. They're going to be favorites, of course, and then I'll talk about my favorite underdogs there afterwards. So let's talk about some of my most confident picks on the card. I will bring them up on the screen here. We'll run through the slate real quick. Corey Sandhagen, Jessica Andrade, Ignacio Bahamondes, and Jeremiah Wells. 4 of my most confident picks on the card with, different odds for each. On the side of Jeremiah Wells, you have a pretty solid minus 125, minus 130 tag, depending where you're at, for him to beat Carlston Harris. And then you look at, Tatiana Suarez, large favorite around minus 375, though I think she has a great chance to win over Jessica Andrade. Corey Sandhagen's minus 350 over Rob Font, and Ignacio Bahamondes minus 225 over Ludovic Klein. With Corey Sandhagen, the one I'll talk about first, obviously this for him is probably the number 1 contender fight. Rob Font jumping in on short notice. He was originally supposed to fight at UFC 292 in Boston, so I think that him jumping into a tricky matchup on short notice, which is a different style than he was scheduled for, with Song Yadong being his original matchup he was supposed to have at 292. Sandhagen has so many more tools. He beat up Song Yadong when they fought. I think watch for Corey Sandhagen taking the fight to the floor. Minus 350 is a wide tag. So this does become more of a parlay piece. You'll hear me mention this fight in the parlay segment. I do want to talk about the potential for a Sandhagen win by decision. Sits at plus 205 with TKO at plus 140. I am originally on the prediction Sandhagen decision. Font is incredibly durable, but KO is possible. So plus 140, it puts me into an odd spot with the props that I don't necessarily love. If Sandhagen were to win by stoppage, I do feel like I anticipated in the later rounds 3, 4, or 5, which range from plus 1,200 at round 3, plus 1,500 at round 4, and plus 2,000 for a round 5 TKO. But don't be surprised when Sandhagen comes out with a very intelligent game plan and beats Rob Font by a unanimous decision. The over 4.5 is only minus 105, which is quite interesting. You trust the durability of Rob Font. You know that Sandhagen is the, more, wide range of tool set type of fighter. And now showing some wrinkles in the wrestling too. Big factor, physicality edge. I think that Corey Sandhagen by decision is quite live. Over 4.5, minus 105, money line. Obviously the best option. It's just an ugly money line. It's more of a parlay piece type of money line. The next one, Tatiana Suarez, is also ugly money line too. We're in the same predicament essentially as with Corey Sandhagen, though I have a more confident call on the prop in this fight here. I believe Tatiana Suarez has a very real chance to win by submission over Jessica Andrade. Suarez by sub at plus 275. That's playable. I'm seeing it upwards of plus 300 also, so ranging around there. I like Suarez by sub a lot. That's my official prediction for this fight, is Suarez by submission. Could it happen super early? So then that's a question you have to ask yourself. Do you want to play it? Do I like Suarez? Do I like her by sub? In the first round, plus 300, not as good. Second round, you start getting big plus at plus 650. I think Andrade is still dangerous with her punching, but I just question her motivation at this point, and Suarez has always been a beast. She has a clear grappling edge. Could Suarez go out there and chain wrestle for 3 rounds and win a decision? Yes. I'll read the decision prop off. That decision prop sits at plus 275 as well. But I like win for Suarez by submission more. And now I'm feeling really disappointed because I just overhyped myself throughout this whole episode thinking it was Suarez by sub at plus 275. But it's Suarez by sub at plus 115, decision at plus 275. I'm irritated with that. But because I'm so passionate about what I was saying, I don't want to take it out of the video. So leave it there. You guys can, fucking hate on me if you want. Say, this guy, he's not fucking reading properly. Plus 115, Suarez wins by sub. Just drop my hype. Oh my gosh. I like plus 115's likelihood of success coming through. But damn, when I saw plus 275, I guess it was too good to be true. Damn, it was too good to be true. Let's jump to the next one. Let's jump to Jeremiah Wells. I want to talk about something closer money because now I'm irritated after recognizing how wide the sub is. Minus 125, Jeremiah Wells. Carlston Harris, plus 117. I like Wells to win, and I'm officially calling KO, though he has the tool set where he could win a grind-heavy decision. Plus 225 for the KO for Wells, and then plus 350 for the decision. I do think he's going to end up catching Carlston Harris, who's a sloppy striker. So I'm going Wells via knockout at minus 125. Yeah, give me Jeremiah Wells by KO. And then Ignacio Bahamondes, minus 225 favorite. Good parlay piece. I'm leaning him by decision. He's dangerous enough that he could catch Klein with something at plus 350, but Klein's a young guy. He's athletic. He's hard to hit. It's not going to be an easy fight, but Bahamondes will pull it off on the cards. He's got such a length advantage. Plus 150, Bahamondes. I think it's pretty likely that that decision prop hits there. Those are the most confident picks on the card, with some slight disappointment on Suarez not being plus 275 on the sub, plus 115 instead. It is what it is. Ultimately, I still think that's in a hit, and that is the prop to watch for that fight there that I think you could potentially throw down on. I'm thinking sub is going to happen, guys, and I like Suarez to win a lot. I do want to jump to my favorite underdogs on the card. Make sure you guys smash the likes if you haven't, and if you're new, subscribe. So here, obviously I gave an underdog lock. I have two other dogs on the card, two of which, I guess I have mixed feelings more so about one than the other. Let's first bring up Cody Durden, and then also the other one is going to be Dustin Jacoby. But let's first talk the Durden fight. Plus 175 for Durden. Great tag for a guy that is fucking pedal to the metal. Great shape wrestler, pressure, striking experience, dangerous. Maybe not super, but Jake Hadley also doesn't have crazy one-stop KO power. He has good punch combinations, and he sets up his shots well. But with Cody Durden mixing in a ton of wrestling here, I think that Jake Hadley's going to struggle. I'm picking Durden by decision as my official call. That line sits at plus 275. With Durden money line, it's plus 175. I like just the money line side. I think that's the A side. Just play the money line if you're playing underdog Cody Durden. I think he wins a hard fight on the judges' scorecards. It's a competitive matchup for sure. But I do think Durden is a guy that I can back with some confidence knowing he's going to go out there and fight for my money. Now, the next one is Dustin Jacoby. He's plus 140. So it's not as good of a tag against Kelly Nzechukwu. I think Jacoby can catch him and hurt him. I think Jacoby by knockout is live. That sits at plus 385. Jacoby is a plus 140 underdog with a straight money line. The reason I'll say I feel this maybe is a potentially riskier bet than Cody Durden is for the fact that Jacoby in his last one lost, fight before that, controversial loss. He was getting hit a bit by Azmat Mirzakhanov. And if you look with Nzechukwu here, he's streaking 3 in a row. He's looking better each time. He's bullying his opponents. But ultimately, Dustin Jacoby is a dangerous guy with kickboxing experience, good straight shots. And Nzechukwu, even in wins, last fight specifically against Devin Clark, he was hurt on the feet by Clark, who is definitely not nearly as precise as a Dustin Jacoby with his punches. Jacoby still knocked out Dawoon Jung, and I know MMA math bullshit, yes. Dawoon Jung knocked out Nzechukwu. It's not like Nzechukwu is this big monster that can never be hurt by punches. You have a talented kickboxer like Jacoby in there. He controls range, even though he's at a disadvantage of the reach. I think he's better from the outside than Dustin Jacoby is. Or excuse me, than Kennedy Nzechukwu is. Dustin Jacoby is better from the outside regardless of the reach, favoring Nzechukwu. Nzechukwu's a good pressure fighter. He does really well when he bullies his opponents by implying, the size, using it, employing his will on his opponents. And really, here, Dustin Jacoby's going to be a hard guy to do that to. So I'm picking Jacoby as a dog at plus 140. Durden and Jacoby, two of my favorite underdogs this week. And that is going to send us off into the props/value bet section. Let's talk about them. Let's look at prop/value bets. Okay, I have them written down here, so let's bring them in one at a time. Lopez by sub is something that I think could happen for sure. Lopez by submission sits at plus 225. I do think he could potentially win in the first round. That's actually only plus 275. Lopez by first round sub, what is that? Plus 500, though. If you got him by first round knockout, you'd be kicking yourself. Inside of distance for Lopez, plus 135. It's a close money tag. I do think Lopez is going to beat Gavin Tucker. Still not in the most confident pick section. Only sophomore UFC appearance. And Gavin Tucker, there's a little bit of unknowns with him coming off of a layoff. I think that he's going to get into trouble coming off of the layoff. But ultimately, still a fairly talented guy. Strong grappling game and a good physical specimen. Lopez should win by sub. I think club and sub is quite possible. The next one is going to be an over. Corintillo, Damon Jackson throwing down. I think they're going over 2.5. Plus 105. I know, it's kind of crazy, right? Two dudes that are going to bring violence, they go over. I think stylistically, this is a matchup that could potentially go long. So I kind of like that over at plus 105. It opened at minus 125. Interesting to see it flip. I think that we're going to see a violent fight, but it's still going to go all 3 rounds. I'm going Billy Q for the win, actually, in that fight. But I recognize it's a bit of a 50-50. Now, this next prop is going to be especially given to one of the subscribers, my guy Leon Nestastog, who's spamming in the chat. Listen, drop a plus 1,000 or more prop on the show tomorrow. We need some heat. We need some fire. So Leon, this is for you, my man. So if you guys don't know him, if you're commenting in the live chats, you know exactly who he is. If you're not, and you just watch the show, you're probably like, who is that? He's an OG subscriber, and I got to give him some love. So, Leon, this one's for you. It's Dustin Jacoby to win by knockout in the second round. This one right here, I'm going to call it Leon's prop lock. It sits at plus 1,400, upwards of plus 1,500. There's your plus 1,000 or more. And lots riding on it for Leon here because I think he's throwing the house at this one. He didn't tell me this. I actually picked it myself. For all I know, he could be on Nzechukwu. At the end of the day, that's Leon's lock. Hopefully he gives us some luck after bringing it up on the live stream last night. Plus 1,400, Jacoby second round. I think it's possible, man. It's crazy wide, and it's possible. Let's ride with it. Jacoby second round knockout, plus 1,400. Leon's prop of the night. Guys, those are the prop/value bets. I think we dove pretty deep. I want to jump to the parlays, and I already have one up on the screen. I'm writing these parlays out beforehand for this show. Some of which, though, at the end, I'll probably go a little freestyle, but I have a lot written down here. So, Corey Sandhagen, Tatiana Suarez, I'm going to call it your safer play. Definitely a safer two-fighter play. Now, ultimately, you could add on top of it with Ignacio Bahamondes, who is a confident pick on the night. You have three fighters now with Sandhagen, Suarez, Bahamondes at plus 152. I also want to give you an alternate to that one. Let's say you don't want to play the ladies fight. You think Andrade's power could be a factor, which of course could. Minus 104 for Sandhagen, Bahamondes. Little alternate for you guys. And then if you're like, listen, I don't want Sandhagen. I'm more with you on Suarez. Uriah Suarez, Bahamondes at minus 110. So three, little alternate plays that I came up with here that I think could definitely cash. The ultimate alternate is going to be instead of having the main and co-main event fighters, you throw Jeremiah Wells in there for plus 163 with Bahamondes. You can get some money early in the night and then maybe throw a little extra down like a D-gen on the other parlay. Now, if I want to reach for a Hail Mary, that's kind of what I want to do now. I want to shoot big numbers. I think you go with Osborne. Durden is a quality Hail Mary at plus 600. Osborne, Durden, and Jacoby is plus 1,579. Ballsy for sure, but I think it could hit. Now, ultimately, because Osborne, the dog lock, you also do one without him. You still got plus 536 for Durden and Jacoby, and you can mix and match, between those two fighters to come up with, the plus money play. If you go with two of the dogs, it'll range nearing that plus 500 tag, which is pretty solid. Now, if you also want to add an over, a little over-under action, add the plus money for Damon Jackson. I think you could even match that up with an early fight with Jeremiah Wells at plus 280. And then if you want to keep going with steam, we throw Bahamondes on your slate, and then we finish it out strong with Suarez and Sandhagen. Plus 8,000. Holy shit, plus 8,000. What am I saying? Plus 859, 8,000. I'm like, that doesn't sound right to me. Then if we went Dog City in it, then you get huge plus money. I mean, if I am Mr. Accuracy this week, which is quite possible, right? At the end of the day, I'm riding high, 2 locks in a row. Maybe my confidence is getting too high. I don't think so. What if this hits? What if this hits, man? Plus 15,996. Some dog savagery in there, some favorites that I'm confident in, and an over to come through. Yeah, high risk with that. Not telling you guys that's a sure thing. Nothing's a sure thing in the MMA betting game. But at the end of the day, this is kind of what I'm seeing. These are some of the reads that I got for the card. If you want to do some things like alternate shit, you're like, yo, I want to mix it up. I don't want to play your confident picks. I don't want to play your lock. I don't want to play your dogs. Okay, give me some other picks. All right, I'll do my best here. Kyler Phillips to win, I think, is pretty possible with the likes of Diego Lopez at plus 157 and maybe even Tanner Bozier plus 328, but I really don't love that one. Bozier versus Phillips plus 157. Bozier, Lopez, and Phillips, you're digging in. Not that I'm not feeling their wins. It's just I feel like the confidence level is just lower. Phillips should win on paper, right? And then Barcelos, somehow looks younger than his last one out. Phillips, Bahamondes, Suarez, fucking Sandhagen. We go favorite city over here. Well, let's take Lopez out of there. But, I mean, you could leave him in for plus 547. It's only plus 288. That's why I like throwing the dogs in there, giving you guys more heat, or just going with, like, the super safe side. Ultimately, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Those are some of the parlays to finish things out. Make sure you all smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. I hope you guys been enjoying the content. Been dropping a ton. So make sure you stay tuned for it. Turn the post notifications on. Take them from personalized and put them on all so you don't miss a video. I'll be dropping news and all other opinion videos like that as well alongside of the normal content schedule. Content every day. It's not going to stop. Let me know in the comments what you think of the underdog lock this week, and drop your lock of the week in the comments too. Much love to everybody watching. If you're new, subscribe, and keep it locked in right here. MMA Experts, content every day. You don't want to miss it. And if you have nothing to say in those comments, but you just want to support me, you enjoy the content, drop a W in the chat to boost the algorithm for your boy. I think you guys noticed the new haircut and the trimmed beard. I'm feeling clean, lean, and mean right now, and I can't wait for UFC Nashville this Saturday. Much love, people. See you all tomorrow for the Late Night Live. Peace, everybody.